Mic'd up.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Highlights from Lowlifes here on the Mic'd Up app. We are the Lowlifes. My name is Jeff Jones. I'll be your host tonight. Let me introduce you to my fellow Lowlifes. We have Marty Brown.
Good evening.
Rob Lannerman. And Terry Lee.
Hi, all.
Making his triumphant return.
Thanks.
So to bring you up to speed on who we are a group of friends that met and play baseball together. And during the pandemic, we tried to stay connected by doing these video calls, and they morphed into top 5 conversations. And Mic'd Up said, hey, besides dropping your phones...
There's no way that was supposed to happen
Again.
Again. Especially not getting beer.
Mic'd Up said, if you could drop your phones on our stream, we'd like to have you. So here we are.
I'm going to stream for you, Rob.
So that's us.
There it goes.
We're here to talk about tonight's topic, which is our top 5 fictional baseball players or fictional baseball characters. Before we start, a couple of reminders. Make sure you hit that red microphone down at the bottom of the screen and leave us a message on, you want to comment on something we said, you want to leave us your top 5, you want to tell us what you're drinking, all of the above. Tell us how much you hate us. Go for it. We want to hear it.
Keep it for television.
And don't forget, we have some social media pages out there for you to look at. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, with some others may still to follow. Make sure you like those pages, interact with the videos and the posts. Get our numbers up there a little bit. So if that's all we got, let's go with our top 5. Sure. Let's start with Robbie.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, I went rather acerbic and deep with this one.
What?
Cervix?
Cervix? Not a cervix. Come on.
You're such a wordsmith.
Witty wordsmith. Thank you.
Yeah, it is mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Witty.
Fine.
I know the dulcet tones.
It rhymes with witty.
Hey, don't maybe come over there and knock over your iPad too.
I don't have a dog to blame.
So I went kind of way off the books on this one, but I thought about it for quite a while, and I thought, in all of fictional baseball history, what one player had more pressure on him in a given moment than this guy? And I couldn't come up with anybody that faced a hostile crowd, a devastatingly strong hitter at the plate, game on the line situation, and came up with a 3-pitch strikeout. And that would be whoever was the pitcher in Casey at the bat. That is good. The whole game's relying on that thing. The crowd's against him. Everything says that pitcher is going to fail, and yet he comes through, and he gets no acknowledgement, really. They still talk about Casey striking out as though it's the big thing. And like, I read a poem one time, and I've looked for it on the internet and I couldn't find it. Somebody rewrote the poem from the pitcher's perspective. And, it was great. And so anyway, I just thought that would be fun. So he's my number 5, whoever that pitcher was.
Nice.
All right, Tiger Terry.
All right. So my number 5 is when I think I had a cold and I was laying in bed, and there's some of those times you just sit in front of the TV while you're not feeling well, and a movie comes on and you just start watching it, and it's entertaining, and you're dozing off and coming back, and you've seen it a few times. My number 5 is Henry Rowengartner. From Rookie of the Year. The kid falls down on a skateboard, his elbow gets jacked up, and then he's got like a flame-throwing arm, and they hire him, and he pitches as a 12-year-old. It's just a total fantasy, fun, doze in, doze off kind of film. That's my number 5.
Very nice.
How about you, Marty?
It came from the movie. Very similar to what you're saying. It came from the movies too. It was an older movie, and actually is one I mentioned before. But it's not a player. He was a player according to, but he was a manager. Guffey McGovern. Guffey McGovern. He was the manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates in the original Angels in the Outfield.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, it was made back in the 1950. And if you really, it's a well done film. It really, it's tongue in cheek, of course, with the Angels in the Outfield. But McGovern is gruff and he insults people. Hey, if you can catch a fly ball once, you lose your front teeth. All that kind of. He's just a monstrous guy. But now the Angels have kind of picked on him and said, if you want to, we can do some things if you want to change your act, like lighten up on your language, because and so there's his players can't believe what they're seeing on the train. He's reading Shakespeare. And and sure enough, on the road, there's this terrible play at first base. He runs out there and says, "I think you have erred on your call there. You have quantity. If you go back, my good friend, and qualify this." Yeah, and everybody just go, yeah. But anyway, Janet Leigh is in it. That's the interest. If you don't know who Janet Leigh was, she's the mother of. I just lost the name. Come on, Jamie Lee Curtis. Thank you very much. Now, you remember, and maybe you don't remember who Janet Leigh is, but you remember she was the lady who got interrupted in a shower by Norman Bates one afternoon. So anyway, again, Guffey McGovern, he's the manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates in the original Angels in the Outfield. So, Jeff, I think that leaves you.
Nice.
What year was that again?
1950.
And the remake was cute, but nothing like the original.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm going with a movie that has to do with something I've always wanted to do. It's still on my bucket list. I know something I've always wanted to do is play baseball in Japan. And there was a movie came out a while back called starring Jack Elliott. Why am I drawing a blank on the name? Mr. Baseball. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Elliott.
Mr. Baseball, starring Tom Selleck as Jack Elliott.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
The whole fish out of water in Japan, learns to acclimate, learns to do it their way, and then they trying to turn and ease up on their ways and slightly tweak their ways into his ways, which ends up giving them the big win. So that's my number 5, Jack Elliott from Mr. Baseball.
Good pick.
That's good.
And
there's a huge cultural difference there too. He had to learn.
Yeah. Now we're on to number 4. Terry, why don't you start?
Number 4. Okay, number 4. Benny the Jet.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Yep.
That's my number 4 from good old The Sandlot.
Yep. Nice.
Enough said.
What was great about Benny? Actually, what
yes?
was great about Benny the Jet was that he was incorporating all those kids. He made them a team and made them feel like a team and kept them together. Good leader, good captain. Bad Dodger, screw him. Next.
That's right. He went to the Dodgers, didn't he?
Yeah.
Jonesy.
I'm going to go to TV this time. And there were 2 baseball players on this show, 2 former baseball players on this show. I'm going to go with the older one. Longtime baseball player, had a long record, and then became a coach. Coach Ernie Pantuso from Cheers.
Yeah, Cheers, sure.
Oh,
You just shot his list, all the Hades.
I just that one scene where you can just hear him from the back of the pool room without the camera when Shelley Long throws the ball at him. And, I'm going to first. Coach Ernie. All right,
Great
Marty.
pick.
Coach.
All right. Okay. Let me try something here. This is supposed to be a microphone too, right? All right. Hold on. See if this works.
Oh.
Watch me paste this pathetic palooka with a powerful, paralyzing, perfect peccadoimus percussion pitch.
What did Bugs Bunny do once with the Carrot League baseball today? Bugs Bunny 96, Gas House Gorillas 95.
There he is.
Good show.
Bugs Bunny in
Good
the
show.
greatest cartoon ever made. It's simply baseball bugs. Everybody, it all came back in your mind. They were the Gas House Gorillas versus the Teetotalers. So, with this bunch, yeah, okay, the Teetotalers. Remember, he struck out the entire side with one pitch. Remember that?
Yep. 1, 2, 3, strikes are out.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 strikes. And the funny thing is that if you watch the cartoon, and I loved Bugs Bunny. I always watched almost everything with Daffy Duck and everything. They has the one argument in the cartoon. I was out. He was safe. I was out. Safe. Oh, safe. Oh, sorry, safe. Safe. Oh, sorry. So I'm safe. Okay, thanks. He did it for Daffy Duck season, rabbit season, which was always a class. Yeah. But yeah, I thought we can't have the best fictional baseball characters without Daffy Duck.
That's so funny.
Bugs Bunny.
I used to do that to my brother. Now that you mention it.
Okay, go ahead, Terry. Tell it. Yeah, you're next. Go ahead.
No, I went first.
Oh, you went first. I misspoke. Okay. All right.
Robbie's up.
Okay, Robbie's up. Thank you.
I'm up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before that, I can't believe this is happening again.
Another great call there, Jonesy. Way to pull an Ernie Pintuso.
I think he's got a fan.
I know. This is, well, take over payments.
Got too many of my own, thanks.
All right. Well, my number 4 also comes from TV, but from an unusual place for it to come. The Saturday Night Live, one of the earliest of the studio things they did. Garrett Morris as Chico Escuela.
Fantastic.
Baseball has been very, very good to me. I mean, that is just a household phrase. That whole, and the long version, if you haven't seen the long version of that thing, it's like 11 minutes long. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's out there popping around like a little hustling infielder, utility infielder. It's so much fun. But pure love of baseball in his eyes as he's playing that character. So Chico Escuela.
And wasn't it Sosa that brought it back in one of his interviews?
Yeah, well, in Congress, I think, right?
Was it? It
just on the steroid thing.
He just made that term, that phrase, real popular again.
Yep, absolutely.
But he was, giggling the whole time too.
Yep. That's my number 4.
All right, I think that rounds out round number 4, which brings us to what you drinking?
Oh,
it's a good night for it. I think most
yes,
of
it
us.
Is.
I mean, last week. Now we're sponsored by Almanac Brewing all the time, but last week we sort of deviated because time of the season and all. We went to the Polaner Oktoberfest beer because Oktoberfest just got underway back in the just prior to the previous episode. But we're back tonight, back with Almanac Brewing at Alameda's finest, California's finest. I got the Rocktoberfest.
I got the Rocktoberfest.
I'm doing that 3 out of 4. It's
I got
it's
a
excellent.
rock. I stuck with the Kolsch. That's my favorite.
I love Kolsch too.
You are nothing if not consistent, my friend.
This is my first one. It's very nice. That's very nice, tasty, dark beer, but not heavy at all. It's very good. I enjoy it. It's very nice.
That's a very apt description. It's a dark beer that's light to drink.
Yeah.
And it's a nice juxtaposition against the Polaner that we drank last week, which is a Weizen, which is kind of a lighter yellow celebratory beer which is what they drink there, and they export the Marzens out. So
yeah, kind of.
now you got an Oktoberfest comparison to live with.
Yeah, a little more little more on the Marzen side as opposed to a Pilsner. Wouldn't that be about correct?
That would be exactly correct.
Yep.
Hey, got one.
Wow,
Well, thank you again, Almanac, for sponsoring us one more week.
Thank you, Almanac.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When in Alameda, drop by the brewery and tap house and restaurant.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
we went a couple Sundays ago.
Nice.
Stopped in. It's really fun. Just outdoor picnic tables and food served on, I think, from the next door restaurant.
Yeah, and they have a
indoor bar with lots of tables and chairs. Really comfortable. Windows and doors all open, and it was a beautiful day in Alameda. It's always nice over there.
They have about 8 or 10 core beers, but they have like 20 different one-off things on tap too. So there is plenty to choose from. So it's a lot of fun.
If I could do the green screen thing behind me, there's a couple ice chests, refrigerators, glass refrigerators, fully loaded. It is really nice. Yeah, that's all they serve out of an ice chest.
Is that what the ice chest and Marty have in common? They're fully loaded.
All right, at least give me till 7:30. Come on, give me a break. Come on, still early yet.
Well, with that, we'll let Marty start round 3.
Okay. Well, my thunder is already kind of taken a little bit because it is KC at the bat, and I don't know if you guys have ever read it, but it's really nicely done. It's done in 1863. And it really is. So it's not that bad. So I'd like to read it to you. You guys don't mind, do you? It is short. It's relatively short. So hold on.
It's a short little ditty.
Yeah, no problem. So I'll get right on it. But no, okay, forget it.
Give us a second to go get our pillows.
It's only a page and a half. It really is. But it is. It's a classic. Unfortunately, you don't hear a lot from it anyway. It is a classic poem, well done, and it's just the epitome of every kid that loves baseball. And the poem includes not only Casey, but the players on his team and the fans and all that kind of stuff, and kill the umpire and all that kind of. Okay, so number 3, and hopefully it's in everybody else's in there too, but it's Casey at the bat. Okay, Jeff.
All right, I will go back to the movies. Story of a player who doesn't get to see his dream fully fulfilled, but doesn't regret any moment of it, because what he ended up doing was his life's work. Moonlight Graham in Field of Dreams.
Good pick.
Mm-hmm.
You never got to bat.
Yep.
And he got one at bat when he got quote unquote resurrected, whatever you want to call that. And it still didn't count because it's a sac fly.
Very
right.
good.
Yeah, that's right. It still doesn't count.
But he got to play.
And he was told he was good.
Yeah. And if that's not, if that whole scene doesn't leave a tear in your eye, you're not a baseball fan. It truly is. Yeah.
Robbie.
Yeah, before we do that, we got to what you drinking.
Uh-oh.
Big Juicy.
Oh.
Okay.
What am I drinking? Paulaner beer. Das Bier des Oktoberfest, as they say in Germany. Das schmeckt. That is good stuff.
Wow, Big Juicy. Good one.
If he sounds familiar to you, it's because he played guard number 3 in Schindler's List.
Wasn't he Marky Post's assistant?
Yeah. Oh, you're going to open up that can of worms now. Okay, here we go. All right.
So we'll get on to my number 3 then. It was going to be Ernie Pantuzzo, but I waffled back and forth between him and the guy that I'm going to go with now. So technically, this is still my number 3. In the movie The Natural, of course, everybody loves Roy Hobbs. There's Bump Bailey and so many of the other guys. But one guy in that movie goes way, way back as a player, and then he's the current manager of the Knights. And if you've ever managed a team, some of his frustrations are just some of the funniest scenes in that movie are him talking. And a line I use even at work throughout my life is, "I should have been a farmer." Pops Fisher, the manager of the New York Knights, played by Wilford Brimley. Love that character. You feel his frustration. You know where he's at. Pops Fisher. Yep, definitely my 3.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You want to pick somebody to start our round 2?
I've got number 3.
We are flying tonight.
Wait, we forgot Terry.
Oh, Terry's here? Oh, hey, Terry.
Hey, Terry, when did you show up?
Oh, let me unmute.
We kind of lost you in that green screen.
Lucky I'm not wearing. Never mind. I could do the weather for you though. All right, my number 3 is, well, his first name's Eddie. Did you know his first name was Eddie? Calvin Nuke LaLoosh.
Oh, LaLoosh, yes.
Eddie Calvin LaLoosh, but his nickname is Meat, actually. Bull Durham.
Very nice.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a nice little side story on him. Okay. That's my number 3.
And now we're on. So, Terry, since you were last, why don't you pick somebody to start round number 2?
Marty.
Okay. I got to get my voice a little higher.
Have a drink.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good idea. I think I will.
Wash that down with a beer, would you?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Yankees, why don't you take that trophy and your apology and shove it straight up your... Yeah, thank you. Who can forget Tanner Boyle, the shortstop for the Bad News Bears in the Bad News Bears? I mean, this is we all played at or around that level, and this is a kid you glad is on your team because you're glad he's not on your team because he's throwing his glove at you as you run by, or he's tripping at you as you run by, that film was so well written. They got some great lines, And I think once I said he says the word crud or cruddy like 11 times. Yeah. And maybe if you weren't such a spaz, they wouldn't pick on you all the time. all we got is a cruddy alky for a manager. I mean, it's one of those films like when we've talked about this before. Then it's on, and you got to stop your screening of the TV and just it's this one, and it just goes, and the kid sells the movie. He really does. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So my number 2 is Tanner Boyle of the Bears.
And he actually says my favorite line in the movie, and it's not the one you're thinking of. It's when the rest of the team is ready to quit. They're all griping and bitching and moaning in the dugout, and Walter Matthau looks at Tanner. He goes, "Tanner, you want to quit?" And he says, "Crud, no, I want to play ball."
Yeah.
I love that line. That's just absolutely.
Perfect.
Good pick, Tanner Boyle.
Thank you. Perfect. Robbie.
Okay. I'm going to stay on the same theme of the Bad News Bears.
Okay.
Because the Computer Wore Tennis Shoes is not a baseball movie. I have to go with the Bad News Bears, which, going back to episode 1, was my number 1 baseball movie. The other character, I have grown to like him so much more as an adult than I did as a kid. And that is the star of the team, number 3, Kelly Leak. And what I like about Kelly Leak is, besides taking on the personal challenge with all the adults and everything, he actually becomes part of the team. And he actually becomes a key team leader with those guys. And I mean, these are kids that he would have no other reason to associate whatsoever in his whole world, except for the baseball thing. And he becomes so pulled into the baseball world that that's his team, and he's going to defend them no matter what. And I think that's a great subtle storyline in that film that often gets overlooked because it's such a great outrageous comedy. But Kelly Leak, man, he steps in there and he becomes one of the team guys. So Kelly Leak is my number 2.
Nice.
Perfect.
So who's left here then?
Jonesy.
Yeah.
We can't be at 6:30 and
Wait, Terry, did you give number 2 yet?
Yeah. Oh,
No, you ended.
No, he
number,
wasn't.
You ended
No.
number 3.
No, I started. I started.
I thought I heard Terry
Stop!
say pass.
Stop!
Pass.
Don't!
Pass.
Terry, why don't you go before me?
Yeah.
number 2.
Yep.
Number 2, Dottie Henson. Of the League of Their Own.
Oh, great.
Nice.
I mean, and we all went to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Was there an actual player that she?
Yes.
That she actually
Loosely, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
portrayed.
Yeah. And I'm gonna add a story when you're done.
That's it. It's just Dottie Henson from League of Their Own. One of the funnest baseball movies around.
It was.
You're a good talker.
Yeah.
And do you remember us? Do you remember the 4 of us at Cooperstown at the bar, Coolies?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And that the
Well,
lady,
barely.
and at the end of I was on the end, and the lady there that was on my right. You guys made a big joke about that at the time. The lady was talking to me a few times and a whole.
That doesn't sound
Wait.
like us.
No,
You
no,
mean-
okay. She comes off. You say, I don't know if she was drinking or trying to do, but her line says, "Yeah, I'm Dottie Henson's daughter." I went, oh, really? You are? Okay.
So I mean,
okay.
She's fictitious also.
Excuse me, I have to visit the parapet here. Thank you, but wow.
Answer.
That's a true story.
The right reply would have been, "You look more like Marla Hooch's daughter."
I want to get out of the bar alive. Give me a break.
You could have said, "I'm Stillwell's son."
Yeah, okay.
This was the day we sat on the end of the bar.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Not in the back room where they're hiding us.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they made a mistake and let us out. That's pretty much how it was. Yeah.
When in Cooperstown, Cooley's Stonehouse Tavern is a must stop. Free plug, guys. Just remember me when I order a Yingling.
Yingling by the pitcher.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. The other members of my family went to Cooperstown. I said, you got to go to Cooley's.
Yep.
And they came back. That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. What is? Hey, you think I give you bad news? What the heck?
All right.
So I guess that leaves me.
That was my number 2. Okay. Jonesy?
So I'm then I'll stay in the same movie,
Oh, okay.
and I'll just give you one line from the movie, and everybody will know who it is. Avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan.
Hey, it's good advice.
The greatest manager the world has ever known. Well, okay, maybe not, but I love the way Tom Hanks played that character and what they got to do with him, and the whole, former player, former hero, who, pretty much lost everything and is given a chance to do something, even though it's not what he wants to do. He gets to do something, and he ends up turning around on the whole idea and being fully into it by the end. So.
Right. Well, he couldn't he couldn't enlist, so because of was it a knee? He had a bad knee.
Yep.
I was going to say he's loosely based on one of the real players that you were always
one of my favorites, Jimmy Fox. He's very loosely based on Jimmy Fox.
Yeah. Good pick.
So,
good pick.
That's the end of round number 2. Before we go to round number 1, Marty, you got something to talk about?
Yeah. We are very blessed, and every one of us would truly, and this is not a joke, to be here on the Mic'd Up Network. And we're just one of many fine programs on Mic'd Up. So give me a minute. There's a few shows that have been around for a while, but there's a new one out that I listened to, Pitcher's Mind, and Coach Moore and Coach Nisco. I'm not quite sure I picked up the right names, but these guys talk. And if anybody's out there who has a son or daughter or nephew or something that thinks about being a pitcher, I'm serious. Tune in. I direct them to the Mic'd Up app and listen to these guys about the pitcher's mind, and they're talking about a routine that a pitcher needs to go through, mental routine, pre-game, during the game, post-game. These guys really know what they're talking about, and I thought, okay, I'll just give them 5 minutes, and 55 minutes later, these guys got me enthralled. So that's a new one I picked up, Pitcher's Mind. And of course, we got Bits Blips. There's not, I've kind of looked around. He hasn't been on a new show in a while. But again, I'm thinking, what is it? A week from today, the playoffs start? So I'm sure Bip Roberts is going to have a lot to say about the playoffs. So that should be a lot of fun to listen to Bip. I did listen to Rick Barry's latest one. Do you know he was coaching a team in a 3-on-3 league. They were called. I wrote it down. They're called the Ball Hogs. Yeah, and he was coaching these 3-on-3 league, and I guess it's really catching on. It's very, very, very popular. So Rick Barry's show is always fun because he's going to tell you exactly what he thinks about in baseball and his opinions on stuff. And then also the Hall of Fame Conversations. These are the guy that did the show before with Blitnikoff, and they got one coming up on the 3rd of October with Wayne Boggs, an interview with Wayne Boggs. Again, John Rieger and Barry Smith are the guys that host the Hall of Fame Conversations. But Wayne Boggs. So
Wade?
Wayne Boggs.
Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs' brother.
Wade Boggs.
We couldn't get Wade, so we
got Wade. And of course, there's Mr. Darby, who's been very generous in referring to us many times on his show. A great guy. Bears and the Bigs. Always has some neat conversations and things he needs to share with his experiences working with the equipment managers and the equipment leagues and the people he interacts with. So again, there's a lot on the app, and we're really very pleased and very happy to be associated with Mic'd Up. So there it is. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Very nice.
So toast to Mic'd Up.
Mic'd Up. So did you stick with me here on the steps? So they're interviewing Fred Biletnikoff, one of the greatest wide receivers of the Oakland Raiders. I met him at the Vita Blue Northern Lights tournament a couple years ago. Super, super nice guy. And I don't know, Rob, did you see on the news that they, at the tournament Monday, was that yesterday? No, Monday, they did a tribute to Vita.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Very
Did
cool.
you make it? Were you there?
I was not there for this one. No, couldn't do it. But
Yeah, he was the chair, I guess, or
right. Yep. It was the Vita Blue
it
tournament.
was the Vita Blue Northern Lights golf.
Now they had
tournament.
to add that horrible word memorial in there.
Yeah.
This is
For those of you that don't know, many of us got quite close with Vito over the years, and he was a good friend, and we miss him dearly. Lost him earlier this year.
Yeah.
So
that tournament's been going on for 10 years now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well,
all right.
All right,
Well,
here's the Vita. Cheers,
Vita.
Yeah, sure. Vita. Yeah, thank you.
And Wayne Boggs.
And Wayne Boggs.
Oh, give me a break.
So on that happy note,
one of the many things I'll hear about for the rest of my life. Thank you very much.
Let's start with our number one picks. Terry, go first.
Okay, this is this might turn all your other number ones into an honorable mention. Rick the Wild Thing Vaughn from A League of Their Own.
A League of Their Own.
From A League of Their Own.
League of Their Own. A League
Oh,
of Their
wait a
Own.
minute! It's not just me. It's not just me.
A League of Their Own, starring Wayne Boggs.
Major League. Sorry about that.
And the audience wonders why I drink so much. There you go.
It's really small this time. They're not at a glance, and you can tell I've been squinting. I am always squinting, but I really trying to focus on my notes here.
We got a comment on YouTube about our show that said, these guys don't know what they're doing, and that's what I love about it. We're proving it all night tonight.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Rick the Wild Thing Vaughn from Major League. Is so entertaining.
The scene in the restaurant, the fancy restaurant, when they make him wear a tie, and he's got the sleeves cut off and of his leather jacket and no shirt on, and he's grumbling, and Ricky Vaughn says, I feel like a banker in this.
Yeah.
Love that line. It kind of gets lost in the movie, but I think that's one of the best lines of the whole thing.
There's in Major League 2, and this is going to be one of my honorable mentions. He says, "I'm gonna." He's talking. He's having a conversation with the batter. I'm going to throw you my eliminator, and he says, "Let me call it the master."
What? The master eliminator?
No, master.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway.
All right. Yeah, Marty, you go. You're number one.
All right. Come on, Rook. Show us that $1 million arm, because I got a good idea about that 5-cent head.
Yep.
And it's Crash Davis.
Yep.
Playing for the Durham Bulls, who are actually in the AAA playoffs again this year. They started the other day. The Aces missed it by 1 game. So bummed. So bummed.
Missed it by
that much. Just a bit outside. It's a great character. Has so many great. So again, a well-written movie. He's got so many lines. I can get us a rainout. I mean, just the interactions with Nuclear Luce, as you brought up before. With the manager, and of course they have to throw the love interest in there.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you got to have a reason for your to take your significant other to the movie theater. But Crash Davis. I mean, easy. Number one.
Very nice.
Jeff, go ahead.
So I was torn between 2. And I'm going to leave 1 behind because I have a feeling it's coming up next after me. So I'm going to go with my other one. And if anybody knows me, pretty much knows that this would be on my list. Another based on a real player character, but it's Bingo Long from the Traveling All-Stars. Loosely based on Satchel Paige and the barnstorming of the Negro Leagues.
Why don't you have the jersey on? You should have the jersey.
Yeah, I should have. Oh well.
Yeah. Oh.
I've already pulled that prop out before. But Bingo Long, one of my favorite baseball movies, one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, great pick. That's a really underrated good movie too.
It is.
Yeah, it's a great film.
It tells a great story about what things were like.
Yep.
All right, Robbie, you're last.
All right. Well, I'm going to bring it home, and thank you, Jeff, for deferring. We're all guys that love baseball. I mean, that's the whole reason we're here. It's the reason we became friends, because we played in a baseball league. We've done baseball trips together. Baseball is our one bond. Despite anything else that might be different, baseball keeps us close and connected, and we have a whole sea of friends from that. There is one fictional baseball character that has always understood that baseball, no matter how good you are, is a game of failure, learns to accept that failure, and is back out there every time, every day. Charlie Brown. Even one of the comic strips after the 1962 World Series, You remember the comic strip where Charlie Brown is just sitting, 3 panels of Charlie Brown just sad, sad. And the 4th panel is, why couldn't McCovey hit the ball 1 foot higher?
Oh,
Yeah,
Charlie Brown.
Charles Schultz
Classic.
is a Bay Area guy.
yeah, Santa Rosa.
Santa
Sure.
Rosa.
Yeah,
Right.
right. Yeah.
That might be a little side trip we should take.
Oh, I would. Yeah.
If you haven't been to the museum, it's fascinating.
It's phenomenal.
I have not.
Yeah, and he was big into hockey. So he had he had a few years, but he used to have hockey tournaments there.
Yeah.
And they had the guy
Still an active rink.
Yeah,
I say we go ice skating.
They have an independent league, minor league hockey team there.
Do they really?
That plays at the Charles Schultz rink.
Yeah. They were there. I said that some of these guys that they're still doing it. They were 65, 70 years old. There was one team I just this is off the beaten track, but I thought it was funny. They were the Phoenix Fossils. PHOS.
Great name.
This old man's hockey, the Phoenix Fossils. That was great.
That's awesome.
Charles Schultz Museum is phenomenal. Yeah, and you want to sit there and read, and a lot of it's just the cartoons,
right?
Strip, and you want to read every one.
Yep. Charlie Brown, in the face of utter defeat, is the eternal optimist. So,
right.
Yeah.
And if you're ever in the club section at the Oracle Park, they have those 3 statues there still behind the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the.
Nice.
How the heck did you get into the club section? I remember in the club section. How the heck did you pull that one off?
I snuck up there.
Good man. Good man.
Well, that does our list. How about we listen to some of our listeners' comments?
Cool. We got some good ones tonight, it looks like. And then this one.
And then this one.
It's from a Mike Mimi or something like that.
Easily top 5, Bugs Bunny. Plays every position and can climb the umpire state building and make a catch. Then you got Ratzenberger from Rookie of the Year. Comes out of center field and throws 95. Sid Finch from Sports Illustrated fame.
Oh,
Nuke
sure.
LaLoosh from Bull Durham. He gets Susan Sarandon, and that gets him right away. And then last but not least, Benny the Jet Franklin from The Sandlot.
Okay.
Good picks.
Okay, except he's a Dodger fan. It's all right. Okay.
Yeah. Sounds like a Yankees fan.
Yeah, I think he's a Yankees fan.
Is he? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Hey, our buddy Webby, who couldn't be here tonight, is checking in, though.
Oh.
This should be about 4 or 5 minutes. So if you have to go to the bathroom, now's a great time.
See ya.
My top 5 fictional baseball characters include Charlie Brown, Pablo Sanchez from Backyard Baseball, Sid Finch,
That's 2 for
Sam
Sid Finch.
Malone,
Yeah.
and finally, Mighty Casey.
There we go.
2 for Casey, 1 for the pitcher.
Yeah. That's not a consensus. I don't know what is.
And Pablo Sanchez, my kids played backyard baseball, and they would get in fights over who could draft him for their team. He was that good.
Wasn't he supposed to be the fictional Barry Bonds because they didn't have license for Barry Bonds?
Yeah, and he had all
Yeah.
hit, run, throw, run for speed, hit for power, hit for average. Pablo Sanchez was a lot of hair pulling and fighting and crying and tears between my 2 daughters. All right. Hey, Vonnie, one of our regulars, checks in.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Mine for tonight are number 5, Steve Nebraska from The Scout.
Oh.
Number 4, Ricky Vaughn, Wild Thing from Major League. Number 3 would be Willie Mays Hayes from Major League.
Sure.
Number 2, Jimmy Dugan of A League of Their Own. And my number 1 classic would be Charlie Brown.
All right.
We have a lot of
Browns. Go ahead, Marty.
Yeah, we have a lot of intelligent people that view into this. We really do. Thank you very much. You got better things to do with your time, but still, thank you very much.
That was a great. Have you ever seen that movie, Albert Brooks, who I think is hilarious just because of his stilted speech pattern and it's real subtle comedy. But Brendan Fraser is a pitcher that doesn't like the spotlight, doesn't like crowds, but he has a golden arm, and he plays down in Central America where there's no press and no pressure, and he's this incredible pitcher. And Albert Brooks, trying to hang on as a scout in the major league, finds him down in Central America and tries to bring him in for the Yankees and get him acclimated to being in the U.S. and everything else. It's actually a really good film. That's a great pull there. That's good thinking. So I'm just sucking up to my wife here. Big Juicy, our buddy Big Juicy.
He's back.
Number 5, Bart Simpson doing his home run trot. Number 4, Mickey Dominguez in the summer catch, scoring off the field as well as on. Number 3, Bongo Long in the Bongo Long Traveling All-Stars and
Bongo. You give him my shit and you give me shit.
Played by Wesley Snipes in The Fan. The Giants paying him $48 in 1996.
That's right.
And
yeah.
he comes through in the end to save his son. Number 1 coming up.
He's turning red. Look at him. He's turning red.
Bungo Long. I didn't think.
So get off my shit.
I didn't think there was going to be any way to bring up a bung hammer tonight, and yet here we are. Thank you, Big Juicy.
I'm off the hook. Hey, legitimately, I'm off the hook.
Wayne Boggs is so last hour. I don't know if I can get through it. I got one more. I got his number 1 to play, but I can't keep. Bungo.
Maybe you get confused with Mongo.
Bungo the Clown is the latest iteration of Max Patkin.
And number 1 would be Jack Elliott, the ugly American, played by Tom Selleck in the movie Mr. Baseball.
Mr. Baseball.
He has a tough time trying to acclimate to Japanese culture. And I guess you can kind of understand some of it because he was a Yankee first baseman, not a catcher, and he has trouble squatting in the public restrooms over in Japan. At any rate, that's my number 1 pick, Jack Elliott.
Too much information. Too much information.
Talk about Bungo. Oh, brother. Well, JC has checked in as well.
Great.
Another regular.
JC.
Uh-oh.
What do these 5 guys have in common? Number 5, Mitchell Friedman. Number 4, Eddie Harris. Number 3, Willie Hayes. Number 2, Rick Vaughn. And number 1, get in front of the damn ball, Doran. Lou Brown.
Lou
Brown. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Distant relative. That's right.
So apparently JC didn't understand the assignment because he left 2 top 5s. So he had his top 5 major league guys, I guess, and then this is his other top 5.
Perfect.
JC here. Number 5, all the way May Morabito from League of Their Own. 4, John Blackout Gatling, Little Big League. 3, Billy Chappell, Love of the Game. 2, Crash Davis, Bull Durham. Number 1, Roy Hobbs, The Natural.
Yeah, it's, I'm surprised Roy Hobbs didn't come up more often. I really am. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions, anyone?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
One.
All right, go ahead.
How about? I'll actually focus on my paper this time.
You guys.
Oh,
geez.
Spike Nolan. Do you know who that is?
Spike. One more time, Spike.
Spike Nolan.
Spike Nolan.
Brewster's Millions. John Candy.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Yeah, what a character.
Okay. All right.
Why did that not come? Wow. Okay.
What a great character he played.
Absolutely.
And nobody mentioned the rookie.
That was a true story.
Dennis Quaid. Remember, he was a
Yeah.
player.
But that was
But I think-
that was
I
real
think
life.
because it was
Was
a
it
true
a-
story. I think
was a
you
true
stay
story,
away
yeah.
from it.
You're right.
Yeah,
It's called
yeah.
a sport drama.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, I like that film too.
I got one that I thought was the perfect antagonist for in Major League Two, and that was Jack Partman. Yeah. He now I got in trouble last week for what I said. So he kept referring to everybody as a, let's just put it chicken beak head, okay? Pecker head, chicken.
I got it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So he had a lot of quotes in the movie that I can't talk about, but he was the perfect antagonist. I mean, you perfect. Give us the line there, Robbie. I want. Yeah. Come on. The Wild Thing comes in and says, "I want Partman. I want Partman."
Oh, see, I was thinking you were talking about Harry Doyle, like in the first part. He does the Parkman shimmy. They love that here in Cleveland. And then at the end of the movie, he's doing the Parkman shimmy. The girls here in Cleveland hate that.
And it wasn't he the guy that had the line. He threw at his own son of the father-son game or something.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a great line. Yeah, but Jack Partman. There you go.
Well, he was quickly mentioned earlier, but not as part of anybody's list. But Coach Budemaker.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great pick.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause he pitched in the minor leagues.
Yep.
And I thought was throughout the movie he was never drinking the same beer. He had different brands. He just crossed all lines.
Well, that's because they didn't have Almanac back then.
Good point.
I've got a weird one. Honorable mention. Yvonne used to watch years ago a show called Homefront, and it was on. I think it was on ABC. It was a dramedy thing. It was about right at the end of World War II, and the guys coming home and how families had to readjust to people being back home, and the guys had to readjust being back in the country, and it was really. That's what it was all about. Like, whatever, I don't care. But one of the guys, Kyle Chandler, who later went on to fame as Coach Taylor in Friday Night Lights, Kyle Chandler played a kid that was playing for the Cleveland Indians. And the scenes of them playing baseball, it looks like 40s baseball. The guys are making the catches with the two hands. They've got the gloves. They're playing, and it looks like when you see the old films of the 1940s, this guy's playing the defense, especially defense on the show. It looks like the real deal. So he played the character Jeff Metcalf from the Cleveland Indians. And,
cool. So you're saying
do
you think it was real footage?
No, it wasn't real footage, but they really went out of their way to make it look like 1940s baseball that they were playing. So, it was great. So, and there was a lot of scenes and he gets injured and comes back from injury and the whole thing. But just the way the on-field stuff that he did, and he was the kind of guy you want on your team. He was there. He was hustling and playing every day, playing hurt, the whole thing. So Jeff Metcalf, played by Kyle Chandler on Homefront.
Very cool. Nice. Nice.
All right. I think that wraps it up for this episode. What do you guys think?
I think so.
Good time.
Unless
Good
people
time.
want to just sit here and look at us drinking beer.
Again, want to thank Almanac for the sponsorship.
Thank you,
very much.
Almanac. Appreciate it much.
Cheers
Thank
to
you.
our-
You got it.
Thanks again to the people at Mic'd Up for having us on their app. Make sure you go to all of our socials, like our pages, like our videos, watch our videos. We need lots of views on those YouTube pages. So take a look, give them some views, give them some likes.
Subscribe.
I want to say one thing. We got a message in on the website, and I think it's it's clever, it's gonna happen, and it's hilarious all at the same time.
I'm fired.
No. So back in the first several episodes, we talked a lot about Marty's clip-on ties. And I don't know. There was no clear indication of who sent the message in, but they said, "When are you going to make highlights from Lowlifes clip-on ties?"
Oh.
for your merch. And so we are working on merch as we speak. Whoever sent that in, cheers, because there will be one
there you
tie
go.
in the collection. So there you go.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Bring us home, Josie.
All right. Well, that'll wrap it up. Thanks everybody for joining us today. And next Wednesday, same time. Topic to be announced on all of our socials. So stay tuned on that. And we will see you next Wednesday. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Much appreciated.
Prost.
Oh, that too.